Welcome. Welcome, everyone, to another amazing, incredible live Wild and Weird Radio. And it is the only live Wild and Weird Radio show that you will ever see on March 23rd, 2023. Isn't that right, Brandon?
Yep.
I mean, I think that's right. Unless we go back in time and change that. I mean, right? So,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, because there's some, today was Alien Invasion Day. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But first, let's welcome a very good friend of ours and a really awesome guest, Mr. Jeff Byers of Creature Replica, and also very avid enthusiast, I would say, into the field of the paranormal, and he has some great accounts and whatnot as well. Everyone, you are here with us. I'm going to ask you to please go out there and hit that little share button. Share this out so we can get more people in here. We're going to have us a good time tonight. Joe will join us eventually, and if not, we're just going to assume that the aliens have him at this point and be done with it. So that being said, let's I'm Jeff, go ahead and introduce yourself, and I'm going to go over here to our message board and try to post up some of these things for everybody. I think everybody's trying to welcome you in and whatnot, so I'll put those up as we go.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, Jeff Byers. I am part of the Creature Replica action figure business, which kind of kicked me into the paranormal and Bigfoot and everything thing just by the people that was, around me. And this is awesome that you guys are having me here. I'm terrified, but excited.
Jeff, you actually have one of the unique honors of Wild and Weird Radio. You hold your episode held the highest ranks for. It was almost like the Dark Side of the Moon for the last 3 years. It stayed at number one, and then it finally got. It still teeters back and forth, from top to number two. But our episode that we did on the Mandela Effect.
Oh man, that's awesome.
Everyone, they love this episode. If you guys haven't seen that, go watch it. That was just you, me, and Wayne at the time, I believe, is we did that. Because Joe was in the forest being chased by Bigfoot, if I recall correctly.
Anytime that there's a thing where three guys can just say, hey, there's the rabbit hole, and I'll just carefree dive right in the middle of it. The conversation.
It was amazing. It's a very relevant, and we may have actually predicted the future in a few of those things. I don't know. Let's go and welcome some of our folks in. I see old Ike Faber out there. Hey, Ike. I see Spooky Appalachia as always. There's Teresa. We've got Dewey. Dewey's over there from Cryptids and Critters Paranormal. Hey, Dooster. And we've got let's see who else. We got Dano Videos, I think. I'm probably not saying it. Dano's Videos, right? Yeah, sorry. I got that wrong, buddy. Fish Belly, James Boggs, Ashley Hilt. Are you really in the audience? I'm gonna put that up here if you say yes. We've got man, there's so many people. I'm trying to get Facebook user. We've got a Facebook user that said hi. Hi, Facebook user. We don't know who you are. You have to give Facebook, or actually it's StreamYard, permission to post on behalf of Facebook so we can see your name. If not, that's cool. Hi, and welcome to the show. James Boggs. Hi. Hey, Dano. There we go. We've got Travis Drum. Hello, everyone. Hello, Travis. And it is Ash. Hey, Ashley. Ashley is an incredible researcher and Fortean researcher as well, and we hold a lot of the same ideas on some of this stuff. Look at that. I've cleared my schedule to wait for these aliens to arrive. They should be so lucky. Ash, I hear they're gonna show up tonight. Okay. We may see one later tonight. I'm not sure. Don't hold me to it. But later in the show, there's a possibility that we may see one. I don't know for sure. But Ashley is talking about some. There's Christina. Hey, Christina. Ashley's talking about, of course, today was Alien Invasion Day. For all you TikTokers who didn't know that, and apparently, the most amazing thing happened, and we were blessed by a time traveler, Jeff. If you didn't know this story, a few months ago, who started posting all these predictions, that. And it was leading up to this alien invasion that was going to happen today. Well, it didn't happen. But as I have told people earlier, it did happen. We stopped it thanks to John Titor. Because, see, John, he was already a time traveler. You can't go and be a time traveler, and you can't one-up John Titor. I mean, come on. The dude had an IBM, But so we think that John probably got his time travel buddies together, and they came back and fixed things. And of course, we would know, right? I mean, that's how time travel works. It's just an amazing thing. What we got?
You see, we can't have an invasion because we have the Doctor protecting us.
Well, I mean, John Titor is kind of like that, man. And he's a time traveler. What can I say? Oh, look at that. We got one. Just look at it on Project Zoom, or I'd say, or I'd stay, have fun. Hey, thank you, Facebook user, for dropping by. Mike Lilly, welcome, my friend. And if you guys can see that picture that Mike's got up there, that's a collector's item. That's actually us on stage. And I don't even remember what year it was. Mike, do you remember what year this was?
The Woodstock?
Yeah, it was Woodstock. That's what it was. No, it wasn't Woodstock. We're not time travelers. Apocalypse was actually my first band, and Mike was the bassist, believe it or not. And yeah, that's great. Great to have you in the audience, buddy. So, guys, I think okay, we're good. I'm going to try to get back to this. This is 1990. Okay, so it was 1990. That's when it was. Yeah, that was 1990. It was good times. Class Day. Yes, it was Class Day. That's right. That's right. So, Pabs is here. We got Pat here. I like how Brandon has given up on using the background. Now we just need Ron to drop it. Well, I'm going to eventually, but not until I have a good background. I'm building something back here behind this green screen that I cannot let anyone see. That's all I can say about that for right now. Well, I mean, you can see it if you come over and help me with it, because we're probably going to have to use the computer to power it. Anyway, Dewey, he remembers that part. He remembers part of Woodstock, so I believe you were there, my friend. If you remember,
he wasn't there.
If you remember his part, he was there. Okay. So anyway, now that everybody's welcomed in, Jeff, a lot of people have no idea, but you have one of the coolest action figure lines, I think, out there, next to, some of the big guys, honestly. Incredible articulation, sculpting, tell them a little bit about that, man. I'm going to try to find some pictures and throw up here.
Well, I'm cheating. We are cheating, I guess, on that, because the big guys, the guy that does our sculpting, part of Creature Replica, used to run all of the big guys until he went out on his own. So yeah, it's kind of a, just a little bit of a.
It's a hack. It's not a cheat. It's a hack. Right?
Oh my gosh. No, in total honesty, he articulates and does all the engineering before they go to the factory.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, how do you respond when he sends you something that says, hey, what do you think of this? And you're like, it kind of glows and it's got this thing happening. I'm like, yeah, I think that'll work.
Yeah, I want to know how you get lucky enough for that to happen. That's what I want to know.
It's meant to be.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we've actually had that discussion a few times.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Trying to find some pictures here that we can use. Oh, there's one. Here's one. This is full stock. This will work. How many of you guys out there in the audience actually have some of these Creature Replica figures? I know Joe does, but he's not here right now, so I have to steal pictures to show you guys. So let me pull up some, and I'll let you see what we're talking about. And once you see them, you're going to know what we're talking about because haven't they been featured on a lot of stuff, Jeff? I mean, just in the backgrounds and of
Um,
shows and such.
just interviews we've done and
Mhm.
like out at Comic-Con and stuff like that, they have a nice way. Gene kind of facilitates that. He kind of gets them in the picture,
He
you
does.
know, and then you can see the scout, the Sasquatch on Russ's backpack on
Oh.
Expedition
Mhm.
Bigfoot. So
Yeah.
that's it doesn't help that one of your good friends is one of your best friends is actually, you know, got your back too.
Actually,
So
it does help.
literally,
It helps greatly, actually. And that's the greatest thing about it, my friend.
yeah.
But you
Well,
can see.
I have to actually mention Zach, the cameraman.
Mhm.
You know, I call him and text him once in a while just because it's like when some of the scenes start off with like Russ walking away from the camera and boom, it's right there on the screen. And of course, our family watches and they're like, yeah, yeah, yeah. It's
There
fun.
it is.
It's
Yeah.
very fun.
Yeah. And you know what's really great is your Sasquatch actually makes a really good a backpack dangle, apparently. I mean, who would have thought? I mean, it's kind of his thing. Just strap
Yep.
him on there and you know,
Yep.
maybe you should branch to that. That's not a bad idea, my friend. Yeah.
That would, yeah.
Have Gene make some solids and just dangles, man. I'm telling you, it'll be great.
I think he already might have that, but that might be something.
I mean, he's Gene. He's gonna have everything. Uh but yes, they are some of the most amazing creations, like you said, and I think you guys can see they spare no detail when it comes to these things, and they're fully articulated, which is really really awesome. Which means that you can actually pose them. They make incredible models to actually draw from, really, don't they?
We have, oh, man, that's a whole subject. I have some of the best art. Actually, Wayne
Yeah.
did some things before I actually really got to be friends with Wayne. Wayne brought up a Yeti and a Squatch, and he was just going to get rid of them. I was like, oh my gosh, those are
Just get
actually
rid
they're
of
in the
them.
other room in frames.
Just get rid of them. Are you serious?
He critiqued himself harder than
Oh,
anybody,
oh.
but okay, it's Wayne, but I have to say I have seen Wayne make superstar celebrities tear up.
Yep.
His stuff is so good. He'll put it in front of them.
Yeah.
I can't think of her name.
I know.
And people are like, "Where did you get this? You know,
Yeah.
what is this? How?" And he's like, "Well, I drew it, you know." And they're like, "Can I have it?" No, I just like you autograph it or whatever. But now he may have actually give it to some of them. But yeah, no, that was. I just had
Oh,
to
yeah.
throw that in while we're talking
Oh
about.
no, absolutely. I mean, still, I have not met an artist like Wayne, and I never will. I don't think. I never saw anyone who worked in charcoal so good. I mean, true master. He was a true master. There's no question. I have a basement full of his stuff.
Yeah, you know, I got to see. We would get to the conference and be like at the hotel room the night before,
Yeah.
and he could start over almost. He wouldn't be satisfied, and he would sit there for 3 hours and create this masterpiece that's a likeness. Like is it a photograph? I mean,
Yeah.
it just and I watched that play out, and
Yep.
I'll be quiet, but I got to give
No,
him
it's
credit.
fine. We always give Wayne credit. We've gotten to the point now to where at shows and whatnot, we'll still do that.
Yeah.
I can't say it gets any easier, but it definitely feels like he's there with us sometimes. And it's a good thing, man. It's a really good thing.
Yep.
I think he would be just over the moon if he could see what we have managed to accomplish now. Over 50,000 downloads. That's no small feat for us. I mean, that really isn't. I know other people, that's nothing, but to us, yeah, that is something. 53,000 downloads is quite a bit for us, and we're
Major.
very grateful, incredibly grateful. Adam said when we were talking about cheating. Where was it at? Hang on, I just saw this. I'll put that one up in a sec. Here it is. Yes, he said the New England Patriots way. It's not cheating if you win. So yeah, and they definitely won, Adam. They definitely won. And yes, remember to smash that like button, like Pat said. Like, share, all that fun stuff. We're well on our way now to being able to give you guys some really, really cool stuff. Because as soon as we hit our magic number, and boy, we are so close now. Once we hit that, you're going to get some even cooler stuff. I'm channeling Joe this evening. Thanks, man. If I could, I'd give you admin abilities and let you come in here and do this. Let's see. We've got. Yeah, Adam. There you go. I think we need to make the liking sexy snoo the like button. There you go. That's what we'll do. Sasquatch dangle. My inner 12-year-old boy just giggled. Yeah, we know. Let's see. Oh, yeah, it was Nev Campbell.
Nev Campbell.
There it was. Yes, thank you, Facebook user. Obviously, someone that we know.
That was really cool.
Yes. Squatch. Sky Daddy. Okay, thank you. Sky Daddy Matthew McConaughey approves of that. That's a good thing, Jeff. It became a running joke, and Adam threw it out there one day. We're talking about Project Bluebeam, if you know what that is, and the conspiracy behind it and whatnot. And we were just having a good little education on that and what it is and what it is not. And there was a picture on one of the books, and it showed what appeared to be an image of Matthew McConaughey in the clouds. We don't know why. So we called it Sky Daddy McConaughey, or Adam did, and it's kind of stuck. It's a running joke at this point. What else we got? Aliens, more aliens. Aliens wouldn't want to come here. I've been eating ramps. Hey, have you actually found some? That's awesome. I'm excited. We'll be getting to, the morel season here soon. Teresa, I'm so happy I got to meet Wayne. Unfortunately, I didn't get to know him that well, but he was awesome. And yes, he was.
Uh-huh.
Yes, absolutely. What is it? Spooky. Don't forget all the watch time hours and YouTube subs. Thank you, Spooky. Yes, absolutely. I try not to, keep begging about that. I know we're going to get there naturally, but it's wonderful when you guys do actually watch and get more people in to help us get those hours up. And we certainly do appreciate it. Absolutely. Pabs, aliens changed dimension to come get West Virginia ramps. They possibly did. Carly made it. I guess I'll jump over here with the cool kids, but yeah, Wayne had a massive crush on Nev Campbell and did some stunning work on her. Was so proud of it. I miss this man. Yeah, he was special. Absolutely. Okay, so Jeff's here. Jeff, these fine folk have no idea. They see a man who made a very successful business out of cryptids. Something that a lot of people are trying to do and want to do. You did it the original way, and that's amazing. You really you filled a niche that wasn't there. And pay no mind that my lips are moving and it's out of sync. That's something that happens every now and again. It's a little distracting, but you'll get used to it. What would you say to anyone who may be thinking, they want to give that a shot, on their own original way, I think a little advice, maybe, like, where should they start? Not necessarily with figures, but with any kind of cryptid type venture, I suppose.
Well, if it's anything that people create themselves is going to be unique, but if it's unique and people haven't seen it, collectors, including myself, if you see something different and something, cool, unique on a table, and I can't walk by you guys' table at things because I want everything, but I would say, just for the sheer people and connections and adventures that it causes when you dive into the, and I'm sticking here now strictly with paranormal cryptid type stuff, that is well worth it. But if you're creative, no matter what it is, and you're thinking about doing it, absolutely do it and don't think twice. And what's the worst that could happen? You met some cool people, at a show or something. But
Isn't that the truth? I mean, it really is true. I remember the first day we met you, and it was just crazy. It was just weird because, within 10 minutes, you were back at the table and we were exchanging, business cards. It was the craziest thing I've ever had. And, we've been friends ever since. That was just a magical time. And I think that was lightning in a bottle is what that show was.
That I say it too much, but some things and some of those encounters are
They're not chance.
they're not. Yeah, no, and
No.
that's going to mean something later on.
Oh yeah, for sure. Absolutely. For sure. So the people don't know, but um, you're interested in this. It's not just, I make really cool designs of cryptids and I send them over and I have my buddy, flesh them out. You actually have been in the field.
It okay. I'll tell you how the first time was. I was at an event and I met Mike Miller and Mike Feltner, the Ohio Night Stalker guys, and nobody had ever actually. I didn't know many people, and so they invited me out. And I had several kind of small experiences when I was younger and stuff, but this was brand new. We're talking not a decade ago. I maybe it has been. And I'm like, okay, they were telling me how they did it. It was a little bit different. Spend the night out, being quiet somewhere that's got special energy. And by golly, that was one of the first epiphany nights. And my gosh, that's everybody that's had that happen knows what happens next. You try to go every time you get a chance. I mean, you're out there. It's like, I want more than that. I need just a little bit more. And I've been lucky enough to be in 5 states and have just incredible experiences. And I even had my sons with me on a couple of them. So now, at least they know I'm telling the truth.
Yeah, that always makes you feel good when you have a validation from people because, skeptics are skeptics until something happens to them that they can't quite explain.
Yeah.
I'm going to pop some of these up and we're going to get right back to the questions. Let's see. And Adam says he is proud to have been the creator of, the credit for Skydiving McConaughey. And yes, my hat's off to you guys. Yes, absolutely, my friend. It's our pleasure. I've met some awesome people, present company included. Well, thank you. We do try. Ashley, best advice at minimum. You make the best friends. Yes, absolutely. Yes, we all agree with that. And most people you meet are heckin' nice and wholesome and supportive. They really are. There's only a handful that aren't, and I think you're absolutely right. I mean, we say it all the time. It's such a small community.
Yeah.
Everyone needs to get along. It's a small community. Except for Joe. He stole my tutors. What? I don't even want to know. I don't even want to know what that means. And Ashley also said she just met Mike and Mike at the Frogman Fest. They were super nice guys. So see, no coincidences. These things always go. And Pat, yes, you are my resident skeptic, but you let me down on one of the most important pieces of film. I wanted to believe those were birds. They were not birds. Anyway, Jeff, you don't know what we're talking about there. That was the UAP footage that we caught.
Okay.
Yeah. I was hoping, this is going to be easy to just say, oh, well, debunk it. It's birds. And everyone who looks at this thing, only person who even thought that they were birds was, who was it? I can't remember what it was. Ben Hansen. And he looked at it and said, well, maybe bats, but he didn't even know. So we're all still the same. I don't know what I have no idea. I have no idea what that was. So definitely not birds. Thanks, man. Thanks. Well, at least we didn't shoot them down. So you went out in the field and you got hooked. That's the short story, right?
Pretty much. Yep.
Yeah.
It creates this. curiosity, and for some, and I believe you guys are like me, you push that past the point of safety sometimes. I
Yeah.
mean, familiar areas, I think it's okay, but sometimes I worry about that. It's like you push
Mhm.
it past, okay, I don't know what's going to happen next,
Yeah.
or, and we've probably all been there where, yeah, sometimes when you're not welcome somewhere, y- you're not welcome.
That's right.
And you make those decisions at that time. I don't know what I'm talking about. I just, there's the emotion and the memories of all this stuff. I'm hoping you don't ever ask me about one specific
Nope.
time, because it is, what I've often thought that I should have sat down and wrote down, which I still probably could, starting at the beginning. I have to get the guys to help me, but just write down everything I felt and everything during those experiences, just to go back on, because you forget, you get entangled of the want and the drive, and you forget, someday somebody's want to read about how crazy grandpa was. But I'm sorry, I don't mean that. I mean, or how cool, and how he knew back then. He knew before it was
Mhm.
public. That kind of a
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah. Um, well, I gotta ask, have you have you ever seen a Bigfoot or a Sasquatch or something to that nature, something that falls into that? I'm not asking about anything else weird, just that particular creature for this one.
I have to preface this with, do I know what I'm looking at? I
Right.
know I know what pop culture tells
Hmm.
me I'm looking at. Okay, I will say that. But I've been lucky enough to have one daytime and two nighttime
Okay.
things. So there's no question in my mind that something. I use that something. Can I define what that was? You think you can, but then it does something that some people say you're nuts. That don't happen. Yeah, no, that happens. You know, I'm might catch heck for saying this, but
Not here, you won't. No.
you have to if you're out there a lot of hours and a lot of nights in those places that have energy, the kind of places I'm talking about, and rarely do you find them. I mean, you got to get, there's cues. The guys are good at talking to people and finding repetitive places, and it's really cool that sometimes those places, if there is, I keep saying that word energy. If there's energies, if there's frequencies. I didn't want to say that word. If you hang out there long enough, there's stuff that you miss. You have to listen and you feel. Some people are like, what's he talking about? And some people are like, yeah, yes. You got to go out
Yeah.
there with a good open heart and kind of open up, and learning how to open up in that nice place, as opposed to, shouldn't have did that over there. Should have kind of kept that wall up. But I've went off on a thing. What was the question?
No, you're fine actually. So basically, you think kind of the same way that we do. That we're dealing with something, at least one something out there that may not be 100% flesh and blood.
There are a lot of somethings. If there's
Okay.
nothing
Yeah.
else I can say for sure, is that I've put something in this category. I've put
Right.
something in this category, but there's at least one something that, man, if you're not open minded, you're going to dismiss it. Or
Right.
some people just say, well, I didn't see that.
Sure, they do. Yeah.
And that's
Absolutely.
fine. That's fine. You have
Mhm.
to be at a point where you can wrap your head around it, if for no better reason.
Mhm.
But
Yeah. I mean, you are talking to guys who have pretty much been chasing, weird energies, orbs, and such, and for a while now, and we're starting to see that these things do occur,
yeah,
like it or not, they do occur
yeah.
around these other sightings of these labeled cryptids, whether they be Bigfoot or or what have you. um and we may not understand what that means. We don't understand what that means. But as I've said multiple times, it's the one thing that we can say that they all kind of relate to is an energy. And I think that you kept using that word over and over again. And I'm like, yeah, you know what what it's all about, I think. And it does scare people. It scares people tremendously, because to admit that we're dealing with something that, and I'm going to use the word in its literal sense, alien, outside of our normal everyday understanding, it's kind of, that's a paradigm shift, my friend. And a lot of people aren't ready for that. And I'm not saying that they're aliens, by the way. I'm just using the term in its actual sense, that it is an alien event compared to our everyday normal event that we witness. What do we got here? My goodness, guys, hang on. What birds are okay? Well, thanks. That's cool. Birds aren't real anyway, Ashley said. So those weren't birds that we got. And then Pat said the birds are fake news. So it looks like we have us a new conspiracy theory. Well, not a new one. It's actually a real one that was started as a joke that people have now latched onto, that believe it. And it's funny how these things almost create themselves. These are the Tulpa effect that we talked about before. And there's the topic for next week's show. Thanks, Teresa. Yep, absolutely. Let's see. What? Oh my gosh. Birds aren't real for sure. I've seen it painted over the TNT area. Yeah, I saw that too. So it must be true. Yeah, there you go. What do we got, Brandon? What? Birds are wireless cameras planted by the government to spy on us. They very well could be, my friend. Ashley, the words written on the walls of those bunkers are scripture. Anybody knows that. Oh goodness. Oh, that reminds me of a song. I won't sing it because of copyright. Let's see who else we got. You guys and your birds. I'm trying to go down through here, but there's so many bird comments. I mean, it's Mothman, not Birdman, right? You guys don't know this, but tomorrow's episode of Wild and Weird Radio, the actual podcast, is about the Owlman and the relationship or possible relationship to both Mothman and extraterrestrials, extra dimensionals, and screen memory. So it's a really good one. You're going to want to catch that. One of the art pieces I made for that, just for the bumper, scared the crap out of me after I made it, just to let you know. I kept staring at it. I'm like, well, this is unnerving. Let's see. What do
It's always good when you scare yourself.
I know, right? Dewey said, I've traveled to Kelly, Kentucky, the Little Green Men, yesterday and made a few photos from my new book, Eye in the Sky. That's going to be a good one. Absolutely. When that's ready, let us know, my friend, and we will definitely pump it out there for people. Jeff's my kind of people right there. Oops, I went off the deep end and forgot the question.
Oh, speaking of Dewey,
that's like going to happen a lot.
Oh, I do that all the time. Don't feel bad.
speaking of Dewey, he actually sent me a book.
Oh, which one?
Yeah.
Pull it back a little bit. You're out of focus.
Trying to.
Okay, well, you see what's happening here, guys. That has a picture of that thing on it that I don't talk about, and you can see the camera. It's not even focusing on that. So, yeah, it's on you, Brandon. You.
Let me turn off the blur. Give me a sec.
Okay. Ashley said, yeah, there's a connection. Maybe there isn't. I don't believe in coincidence, but at minimum, it's time we stop ignoring the correlation. What she said, 100%. Yes, Ashley.
It's Season of the Critters, in case you can't see it.
There we go. Season of the Critter. And
Thanks, Dewey.
that has a thing on it that I won't say its name.
Hope you do.
Let's get to the invasion. Okay. All right. Owlman. What? Owlman UK, Mothman. Very similar description. Yeah, sort of, but disturbingly different. And that's what I thought too. I thought, oh, this is just another misrepresentation to possibly Mothman, but the description is definitely different. But it could be the same thing. It could be. Adam, Mothman Cam, if you walk like a bird, squawk like a bird, and peck at the bird feeder like a bird, etc., etc. Well, apparently you're not a bird. So anyway, back to back to the discussion. So, and Dewey said, "You're welcome, Brandon." There you go. So you've seen these things. You've told me before, and as a matter of fact, talking to people like you, Jeff, and a few of the people I've met, that's actually got me to open up more, because when we started this, I did not say a quarter of what I have released at this point. And just because, there's safety in numbers, I think that's what it comes down to, right? That, and you have this opening of ideas now. People are free to express themselves and free to actually, tell their stories with less ridicule. So when I started talking about, the Mothman type encounter that we had, I really expected to get a lot of pushback on that. Instead, I didn't get that. I got a lot of people who are like, oh, well, offering ideas and offering help. And it's like, wow, this is different. And, I think that's a great turn in the field, but there are still those rigid ones, that demand the scientific data, the proof, and they say we're wasting our time when we go out there and with our, equipment. Well, what are you recording? Well, I'm recording something called a baseline first. And if anything interferes with that baseline, I know that something did that. And if I have multiple pieces of equipment out there and I'm starting to get correlations across the board and I can't explain those, then there's something there. I may not know what that is, but it tells me there's something there. And you can't ignore that at that point. You want to tell any of your stories, like any of your sightings or whatnot, Jeff? You're more than free to do so. You can pick and choose. It doesn't matter. Whatever you're comfortable with.
I think we've kind of talked about that before. I all the times that I've had major things have been with the guys and because of the guys. So they're like, you talk about it, tell the stories or whatever. But I want to keep that respect, because it's them. I mean, I'm there because of them, and I may not have had what it took to get out there among it if it wasn't for them.
Well, you don't have to talk about the exact place or anything like that. I mean, like what you actually saw or what you felt. I think that's one of the most important parts, because a lot of people get caught up in the where did it happen, when did it happen, and they don't realize that there's more to it. Like when me and Joe had our experience out at his farm, I don't think about, I mean, I've thought about everything, but what I really come back to, Jeff, is not what time was it. It's not, exactly where it was, was it raining or not? It was that feeling that you had when you actually confronted something like this, and your brain can't rationalize that. Does that make any sense to you? I mean, there's like something that clicks inside of you. That is more, to me, that can't be faked. Is what I'm getting at. Uh-oh. We lost his audio. I think the Men in Black got him. Hang on.
How about now?
Yeah, I got you. There you are. Agent John Stone sneaks in every now and again, and he'll try to knock off our witnesses.
I may have sat on my button.
Professional.
I got nervous. No, I do the same thing with. I don't care what color the shirt was I was wearing, or, let's just say it was fall or spring. You don't. Wait, what's going on here? I got something on my screen. Okay. Sorry, I don't know what I'm doing to do that. I want to know what I was feeling. What happened right before? What happened leading up to that point? Okay, so I'll tell you one story that takes all that into consideration. So there's an area that is near and dear, and I was going to go see the guys, and the week before I went out, I was looking at satellite photography, like zooming right down as far as what's legal, and looking at the entire area. So I found what appeared to be some logging trails, and I wanted to go there. I mean, it's like, look at that. There's nothing and water on this side. And generally I don't want to be on a high part. It's like, if you put yourself down where you're the most vulnerable, it seems like, I'm telling you guys, if you're in the most vulnerable position, then stuff's more apt to come closer. Unless you're somewhere you're not supposed to be, then it'll come closer. But so we went up on on the ridge, and during the daytime, we were up there, and it felt really nice. We were driving to a certain point, and I saw trees were damaged from storms or whatever, and I was looking at them, and we drove by there, and there were some gray trunks, still standing, and then there was this really tan one that had a nice. It's like, oh man, that's people take pictures of that stuff because it looks just like a creature standing there. And so it turned out the road stopped like 20 feet later, literally instantly when I seen that. And we're out of road, we got to walk. So I'm like, I'm gonna go back and take a picture. So I hopped back and I ran 25 feet, and I have my camera. I'm like, where's the tan tree? And I mean, that was my daytime, and I
Oh,
went down.
wow.
I had it was a profile. It was a completely still profile that was shadowed with face, and where it was that standing there, and I was like, I got to get a picture of that because that looks just like what people take pictures of. And I go back and I can't find it, and
Oh,
so
wow.
I didn't tell the guys. I had my friend Bev. I said, go take a picture of me. So I ran down there right where it was standing, and I took a picture, and then I had a tape, and I went back with the computer and scaled it out and everything. And so it was the right size and everything. Is that enough to make me think something was there? Not at all. We went back there that night, and we walked back to the same place, uncomfortably far away from vehicles and other people. And I have had, and people can laugh. I'm just going to tell you because I don't care. This is what happened. So, at other times you experience what you think is similar to what people call infrasound. And for me, it's always like a dark pressure that pushes down. And I always blow it off. It's like, that was me. That was nerves, or not really fear, but that was something else. So that night, I'll tell you a secret. I can't be like if there's three guys walking, I got to be in the front because I hate having my back exposed.
Yeah.
I'm a chicken. But I'll walk 20 feet in front of the group, which is what we were doing at that time, because I really wanted to go up to this one certain place. And I got hit. Have you ever got drunk on tequila?
Oh, I love tequila. What are you talking about?
Has it ever snuck up on you and went pop?
Oh,
right
yeah.
in the nose? Okay, so that happened, but with emotion.
Yeah.
And that's not a thing. I mean, I was not tired and excited, and literally you get hit, and it's like somebody squeezes your tear ducts.
Yep.
And it was like 15, 20 seconds of that, not really, probably 15 tops of that. And I said, all right, I'll quit. I won't come any further. And then it just kind of, it pulls off of you. And then you kind of get this little rush of adrenaline. I mean, that frequency, if a cat can talk 20 miles to another cat, if a giraffe, a rhinoceros, if frequencies can happen, and I have 100 theories on frequencies and paranormal, but why can't they direct it? It makes complete sense, and there's so many stories. It's just like anything else. If you haven't had it happen, the best you can do is be on the fence. Like, I'd like to believe it, but once it's happened a couple times, and then the defining moment, you're like, wow, so I had that. Okay. Now let's leave that there. So we're way far out, and we decide, well, Mike Feltner we had heard movement, and eye shine in that area is a prominent thing. And so he had seen eye shine, and we were thinking, all right, I'm thinking this up for whatever reason, this up here is a kind of a good place. So I don't know how much time you got, but I'm almost done.
Oh, you're fine.
So my friend Cody comes up, and he kind of was a little nauseous. Like, he was right behind me. Have you ever seen when there's a group of people, it will only affect one person in the group?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yep.
super directed. And this is, there's another story where it was directed at the person being obnoxious, and the person beside him had a mic, earphones, and was had a parabolic, and it had to go right to him. It didn't bother anybody else, but we heard it come through there, and it hurt her ears.
Wow.
It came right at him. So that was kind of proof there. But anyway, so we're up there and we talk it out, and they're like, what's wrong? And it took a couple minutes, and I'm like, well, we're going to go back. And we had 3 other people down the hill, and stuff was going on. So we're like, we're going to go back there. So I got my confirmation something was there that night, because we are miles away from anything. Like, you wouldn't be there if it wasn't dry out. And literally those areas have there's not a house you could walk to that night, if you had to. So it's a little bit weird, and there's not really phone signal. And I want to say it's not daylight, but it might have been 4 o'clock or something. I mean, everybody's getting pooped. So we turn around and we're walking back down this little makeshift, or kind of a long time ago, it might have been it appeared to me that was a logging thing, maybe a
Like
long
a service road or something.
Yeah, there's no trees down or nothing, but you could tell this weaving line was just a little too clear. Screw up. But so anyway, we turn around, we're walking, and you could hear it coming. Well, I'm sorry. First, we had this little rock, and it bounces down. It's real rocky where we're walking, and it bounces down, and we look at each other, and that's not unusual. But in that case, it's like, yeah, that was probably something fell from it. I mean, we had enough and weren't believing it. And this, I'll tell you, I want to be able to look in your eyes so you can look at me when I'm telling you. What we heard coming through the treetops, it was panic time, because something was tearing from way up there through the treetops, and we all went down like this, and it hit 40-50 feet on the other side of us and rolled. This was how big a cinder block is?
Oh yeah.
So a little bigger than a cinder block type of a situation. Frightening. And then you're like, there is nothing. First of all, nobody's hiding in the middle of nowhere with a catapult. I mean, you're talking about 100+ feet. Okay. What kind of power can take that and hurl it through the treetops? But there's that. But why did it throw it? Generally, if you're somewhere where you're not supposed to be, never been hit, ricocheted like cars and stuff, but never. It's close. Why would it be that far down on the downside, on the exit route out? Why was it placed there? And I've heard you weren't supposed to leave, and I've heard you're an idiot. You should have left a long time before that. I mean, you hear. I don't know. I have no idea. All I know is that particular spot, I thought I saw something. I thought I felt something. And I damn well experienced that boulder. So does any of that in itself mean anything? The boulder's hard to explain, but I don't know. I consider that a really good learning thing. That was early on.
Mm-hmm.
So you start learning about being respectful.
Yeah.
And your intentions, and I don't want to say frequency, but what you're putting out has changed from that night to the way it goes down now, if that makes sense. I mean,
perfect sense. Yeah.
It's it's just for me, but that was a fun night, and it wasn't a up close and personal type thing, but it was a very wonderful, it was a beautiful night. It was just the right temperature. I'm with my best friends, and they experience it too, and we share that, and that's that time.
Yeah.
Well, Jeff, one thing I can say is bear don't throw rocks, deer don't throw rocks, owls don't throw rocks. So nothing else in the woods can throw rocks. Nothing else has thumbs that can throw rocks.
Owl man can throw rocks. Just
That
saying.
could be.
I mean, no, but that's fascinating. I mean, it really is. We've been in the woods. We've had stuff, seemingly thrown, weird things. One of the weirdest things was a half-eaten, gnawed-on chestnut that ended up being beamed at Joe. That was up there. It was right before we had our encounter. It was August of 2020 up there at the camp, and like you said about this instantaneous emotion thing. I've seen him do that twice. No, I've never been really hit by it like that. I've had psychic impressions, and yeah, I'll say that. I mean, because that's what they are. They're psychic impressions, to where you can kind of almost empathically feel something for somebody else. But that one set of what I saw and what you just described is what happened to Joe, and that is pretty phenomenal. I mean, I really don't know what causes that, something to change like that. Pat said, Jeff, maybe it's a pheromonal reaction that can affect emotional states, like change neurotransmitter levels to produce those strong emotional states. Yeah, I mean,
That's cool.
that's a
Yes.
possibility, right?
That's the kind of stuff we need to talk about. How can we test that? I mean, without interactions. I mean,
Well, if you talk to Jesse from Hellbent
Yep.
Holler, she can get some gorilla urine for you and
Yep.
all kinds of other pheromones.
Yeah, they've been testing pheromones for a while now, I think.
yeah, I would try that in Ohio. I would not try that in Georgia. I don't know what goes on in Georgia, but under no circumstances are you welcome around the Blue Ridge Mountains, in my experience. Now,
There
I'm
you
sure
go.
there are those people that I don't want to say have pets, that have the ongoing type action and they get stuff left. And I know
Oh
that happens.
yeah, the gifting stuff.
It seems like where I've been, they've been pushed to their limits, and it don't take long for them to just stomp around and holler at you and
If you
stuff.
think that's scary, don't go land between the legs.
I've heard.
Well, Dewey can tell you about that. Speaking of which, we will, definitely get him or Martin on at some point and give you guys a real good treat. We just got to get the numbers up as far as attendees go, and to get those guys in. But it'll be definitely worth it.
Well, if we pick a live episode, Joe won't show up. So
Obviously, I mean, it's obvious. But those have been our best episodes in the past for some weird reason. It's not that they don't like Joe. It's just that the universe does this, and it's a cosmic joke. No, I'm kidding. I'm completely kidding.
Something too I was going to bring up.
Yeah.
If you look at the declassified documents that when the government used to experiment on people, well, they probably still do, but the
Well, yeah.
classified stuff,
When
they
you
would
mean
put
like
people in groups and hit them with frequencies, and they would
That's
write
right.
down who would feel things. And it would be like 4 out of 12 people felt this frequency.
Mhm.
5 out of 9 people felt that frequency. It's weird how like people react differently to everything compared to other people.
well, yeah, man.
Not all built
Yeah.
the same.
We don't all see the
Yeah.
world the same way.
Yeah.
This is why some of these encounters happen the way that they do. That's why some of these descriptions of things are just a little off, but they have enough familiarity. We don't all see things the same, if that makes sense, and we don't experience things the same, in my opinion.
Yeah, I
anyway.
kind of wondered maybe if that's why the Bigfoot started throwing stuff at you guys, because all of you weren't reacting to its warnings, whatever it was putting out.
I
It's
think
Yeah.
intimidations, different levels of intimidation. And I always say this: the way it was done then, you kind of learn. Now there isn't that there's aggression. I mean, there's letting you know it's there and stuff, but it's different now. And I don't go out there just tromping through and. No, we don't tromp or never did that. But you know what I mean? We don't see that kind of aggression because
Yeah.
I have a different state of mind, a different Mike we always kind of go into a prep thing before we even go out and get into the right state of mind. And I've learned from them guys how to do it. But I don't know what I was going to say. It's just I don't want only because there's some people listening, or I hope they're listening, that they've been through this, and I don't want them to think that son of a gun is rude. He goes out there and acts rude. No, I don't do that anymore. I did before. You know how to act. This is a learning thing.
Yeah.
So it's not. It's a thank you for letting us be out here. And
Yeah.
tonight and showing yourself, or you know, I mean, just
Respect.
for some stuff, and I've put apples behind the vehicle on the fence post.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about this. I mean, we never talked too much about gifting that much, but you know, in the beginning, I used to be like, "Ah, come on." But after the stuff that I have seen, and you know, some of the legends that I've heard, especially some of the native legends, I don't turn my back on, you know, those legends. Um, Obviously, there's something going on. I mean, to the degree of we don't know what it is, but there's something going on out there. I mean,
The physical
what?
part is taking that stuff, and
Yeah,
when they leave you a little pyramid of stick, you know, they leave you something back. That's something is doing something physical at that point. You know, I mean,
yeah.
I I don't
But
know.
what it is, we don't know. And I think that's fair to say. I mean, we have several unknowns here, but we have a known, and the known is that there is some kind of effect that's been observed, right?
Some people think the gifting thing is actually like Faye responding to the gifts,
I've heard that.
not Bigfoot.
I've heard that, and you know what? You're in those areas, those energy areas, and I will tell you flat out, other stuff happens in those areas.
Mhm.
So
Oh
I'm
yeah,
with you. You don't like just like what you think you're seeing. I don't know. I mean, I could go way off the deep end on other stuff, but orbs and
yeah, man.
I've yeah, what you said, the
Yeah,
Fae, or you know, you 5 6 years ago, I would have laughed. I would have said, "You're going to get me on a podcast, and I'm going to be talking about, you know, this." Now it's like
yeah,
that's the only explanation for what happened. I mean,
yeah.
that you everything else, you know, and I'm not nuts that I know of, but a group of people sees the same thing, and man, you got to consider it. You have to consider all your options. You have to open up, and I think the Project Zubuk. I think Amy Boo's watching. I think that was her, and I know she's more of the flesh and blood, and
Hmm.
we've never actually sat and talked about it. So I'm very careful because I honestly believe that there are some people that may you got to know I don't know what they're dealing with, and there's multiple things.
I
I'm
think so
assuming we
too.
don't talk
Yeah.
about the book cover. What was on the book cover? That's like a thing we don't talk about.
There's a funny story about that I will tell.
Okay.
But go ahead, finish yours first.
No.
Oh,
That's
okay.
I'm scared of that conversation because
Okay, cool.
I've been in it. I've been out of it. It's in my face. There's several things happening in one area to that. I've backed off to the point where I think there's one gentleman that I respect immensely that understands cursed earth and how that stuff can manifest after a certain amount of years. And that is how I explain that stuff happening now, where it's happening around me is not a physical, unmentionable creature in that instance. In
Mhm.
that instance, otherwise,
Yeah.
I have no clue. But I'll shut up.
No, no, you're fine. That's the kind of stuff that these people are here to hear. Um,
Yep.
in my case, Jeff was weird because we were. I've told this a few times. I'll tell it again because it's new to you. We were me and my wife. We were just out hiking, and this was up in near Cranberry, up near the Mon, up in the Mon, and we were up there hiking around, you know, looking around some stuff, and we were coming across the bridge, and she was asking about actually Joe and Jess, and I was telling, oh well, yeah, they have some great stuff going on, and I was telling her about it. I was like, oh, they're down there, they're doing this thing on you know the subject, and I said the name, and a little bit late, you know, she's behind me. I can hear her walking, you know, the rustling of the leaves, and we come across this bridge, and you know, thump, 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 and then there's no thump. And I'm like, what? And I turned around and I look, and she's back there on the bridge, just kind of looking like. And then she walks toward me, and I was like, what'd you see? And she's like, oh, nothing. It was nothing. I'm like, oh no, we don't do that. What'd you see? And she's like, well, I don't know. I saw something dark, and it was big, and it kind of looked like a dog like. I'm like, okay, that's enough for me. Let's go. And we didn't talk about it anymore. And we came to the conclusion pretty much that I came to the conclusion, and I think Joe's with me on this, that this is one of the subjects that if you really go into that, you're going to find that it's going to find you more than you're going to find it. And I know that sounds weird. That doesn't sound like something scientific. It honestly, it blows the data completely out of the water. I've been back in that area since that happened, to tell you. I'm not looking for it, but just taking readings, because we took some Geiger counter readings after the incident. I told you about that, and we were catching the weird Geiger counter for the past couple of years. So we have a little bit of data from different places. So I wanted to go up there near that area and get some data. And I found areas that were very strangely energized, oddly enough, that should not be. I found a tree, for example, that was getting off massive amounts of EM radiation. There's no reason a tree in a forest is going to give off EM radiation. And yes, that's documented. I actually documented that. And in the same area, we went in, and there were like these weird Geiger counter beta radiation spikes going on. And that didn't make any sense. And we did see something later on up the pathway, which was kind of black, and I turned around and we left at that point. But I think that was a bear. I'll be honest with you. I don't think that was anything weird, but I do think that may have been a bear, and it may have just been a warning as you guys need to leave. And we did. But what was really funny is after we're leaving, I'm still taking these readings, and now everything is back to baseline. Everything's back down to where it should be. I couldn't find I found the tree, but now the tree doesn't have the same reading. I went all around that tree and was getting those higher readings of EM. But when we came back out, that same tree, that wasn't doing anything. So I don't know how to explain that kind of data. I just collected it, and we filed it away, and we moved on, basically.
Yes.
But yeah, and then later on, I was talking to Dave Spinks, and I was about what happened up there, and he's like, "Well, so and so saw one up there." I'm like, "What?" And yeah, that's one of the reports that he had. Someone had actually seen one up that way. I'm like, "Well, that's great," because that was literally right across the road from where we had went into the forest. So yeah, good times, man. Good times.
That's awesome that you're taking readings. That,
Oh
man,
no, it's insane.
there's something
something
going on.
There's something going on, and we have quantifying data that shows that, but we just don't know what the something is. Let's get back to you guys. Let's see. I like what Spooky say. I like how pop culture made this stuff cool, and we all seem normal now. Yes,
Yes.
absolutely. You're so right. Our people have finally, what it was is our people. We had to create them. We had to be our people. I think that's what it came down to. Yeah, it's the only good conversation if you're not sure if you want to have it. It's only a good conversation if you're not sure you want to have it. Yeah, I guess that's true, bud. I mean, it's kind of true. Actually, I've always say my personal opinion and my professional opinion. My professional opinion is I don't know anything for sure. My personal opinion is made up of strictly my own experiences and perceptions. And me and Jeff, we've had this conversation before. And so many people, Dad, what do you think? What do you believe? And I don't tell you what I believe.
Yeah.
I tell you what the data suggests, but I won't tell you what I believe, because that's between really me and it's a personal decision. Same way with you, right, Jeff?
Yeah,
I mean,
opinions.
yeah.
If I'm not you guys, anybody else wants to have the conversation, I'm going to say, look, let's erase everything all the big names talk about, and I'll tell you about my experiences, repetitive over a decade of kind of getting the same reaction for the same thing. I have an opinion on that because I've experienced it multiple times. I'll tell you about that opinion. Other than that, it's not anything other than an opinion,
Yeah.
What was it that Sherlock Holmes said? Everyone's a suspect until eliminated.
There you go.
Yeah.
How it goes.
And that's kind of it, right? I mean, we throw everything on the table. I mean, And sometimes these things start making these little patterns, and you got to look at that data and say, what if that's really
Yeah.
what we're looking at? I don't know. I mean, anyone who will listen to the show knows that, I have this tendency to think that the data leads us in a certain way, and I'll be the first to tell you that if that data changes, I'm going to change my mind. And that's not having a rigid belief system. I think one of our biggest issues is having rigid belief systems where we set these rules upon these belief systems, and if we do that, then we really limit ourselves to the possibility of anything. This is like these people who are like, oh, well, we'll never go faster than the speed of light. But says who? You say this as a species that's only, how old? I mean, compared to the universe. So yeah, you can't really say that. So it's best that you don't really, you don't really, I guess, limit yourself. You keep the mind open, but you don't go all crazy with it either. I mean, don't believe everything that you hear, but you definitely process the data. I mean, that's what makes us different than AI for now. I mean,
That's
I
a whole
guess.
show right there too. AI.
Oh, it was a heck of a show. Now we got to go back and redo it because darn near everything we talked about has already happened now. And it's just gearing up to even be worse.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say the word, but you can read this. You want to there, Brandon? There you go.
Puppy dude, are your fear looking back at you?
Yeah, puppy dude, or your fear looking back at you. Oh, I like that, puppy dude. That's good.
That I like that statement because
I've heard that multiple times.
The witnesses I'm talking about all have
yes,
issues.
Well, I got to say, man, and okay, based on data, we have shown that some of these intelligences, whatever they may be, seem to have the ability to either implant or what's the word, Brandon? Superimpose images, ideas,
Yeah, that works.
elicit fears and responses in these witnesses. And I don't know what they are any more than anyone else does. There are people who scream they're aliens, there are people who scream they're demons, there are people who scream they're, extra dimensionals. It doesn't matter. Call them what you want. It doesn't matter at this point. All we know is that there's an intelligence there that has seemingly the ability to really get you to witness or see things the way it wants you to. Now, for whatever reason that is, that's also to be determined.
Wow.
So, that's not me. That's based off of actual data, and you can see that data in that episode that what was the episode we did, Brandon? The Making Contact series.
Yep.
I think that has the best examples of it.
Are you telling me that? You know how I'm questioning? Don't ask me to define what I've seen.
Mm-hmm.
Are you saying whatever's going on, my brain is being told to pick the most likely thing?
What's easier for you to understand? I'm not going to break your brain if I tell you it's the most easy thing for you to understand.
You're kind of breaking my brain now.
No, it's like this. When we go out, here's one little trick that Maria likes to do when we go out into the woods for our, data collection and whatnot, because she doesn't want to see a Bigfoot. She's made it adamantly clear. And she's like, well, if your theory's right, then I just want to see like a giant gummy bear or a Care Bear, which one it is she likes to do. And I'm like, the day you see that is the day that I'll never go back into the woods again.
You're right. Extremely frightening, disturbing.
It's disturbing, but it would also be a validation that something is capable of doing just that, right?
Yeah.
And what that's based on, Jeff, is there was a study that who was it, Brandon? Was it Nolan that did this? Dr. Nolan, Gary Nolan, where he had said he had the report, the UFO report from France, I believe it was.
Oh yeah.
Of the UFO that was over the vehicle. So the witness sees this massive craft over their vehicle, right? Now there's a group of people in this vehicle and they have a sunroof, I think is how it went. and she's screaming about this 300-foot craft that's right above the vehicle, above their car. And the other people in the car are like, well, they don't really see anything, so they take a picture to show her, I guess. But what shows up on the when they turn the phone back around to show her what the photo was, is there's this little orb, this little metallic sphere that's right above the vehicle. Now she saw it as a 300-foot disc, a flying saucer, a UFO. But it was really, on the camera, this little sphere or whatever it was. Again, it seems to point to an intelligence that is capable of manipulating your mind into seeing whatever either you want to see or it wants you to see. I'm not really sure which one that is.
I think it's a combination of just how different our brains work.
Yeah.
It's just whatever our brain is wired to interpret things as.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, again, are we dealing with
Ask
something
people how they
that's
dream. Everybody has completely different dreams. Nobody has the
Right.
exact same dream.
right? Oh, but sometimes they do, and when they do, it's not a
Oh,
dream.
yeah.
We also went there, didn't we? Actually, I was on a show recently and they said, I know you get asked these questions over and over again, and I do, but the answer is always different because I'm learning every day, and that is what you want to do. That's what you
My
want to do.
opinion changes every day.
That's what you want to do. The only thing that I've learned, I used to say this back when I was researching, this was forever ago. So I used to be like, oh, in 20 years of research, you told me one thing that I can honestly say. There are absolutely no experts. If there were, we wouldn't be still arguing about this stuff. So I can look back now and say 40 years of research has taught me one thing. There's still no experts. If there were, we wouldn't be arguing over these things. But I can also say that I do see a lot more people coming and sitting at our tables now and sharing these strange stories, these high strangeness events. And before, they wouldn't do that at all. So the tide has turned, and that is a good thing. And the more that we work like this, and the more that we get people to share these stories, the better off we are. The more we're going to have this dam that just opens up, I think, and we have a flood of witnesses that are not afraid to come forward anymore. I mean, I haven't even told you everything. There's a reason for it, and one day I might. But that's something that comes on a personal level, and it's something that has to come over time. That's there's just so much more to it, and all I can tell you, and this is what I've told everyone else, I believe, based on experience, that there is an intelligence. I do not know what it is. That it is not malevolent. Maybe there are malevolent versions of this. I do not know. Or maybe that is a construct or a way that some people interpret these things. I do not know based on belief systems. I have no clue. But the raw data says that something is happening. And if I am crazy, then thousands and thousands and thousands of people are having the exact same crazy delusion. And if that's the case, then we've got an issue on planet Earth. Maybe we do anyway. But really, can you imagine that many people having a shared vision or a shared delusion? Then we really do have something phenomenal. That is more phenomenal to me than the announcement of their aliens or their extraterrestrials or extra dimensionals, because that would force us to say that there's something there that we can't quite explain yet. Everyone's nuts. That's our bottom answer, right? I just don't buy that, guys. I don't buy that any more than the whole weather balloon thing all the time. So,
What?
I believe.
I know. I don't believe in weather balloons. I'm sorry. Adam Good. Or they are interdimensional predators that are attracted to mental images of themselves. Hey, this is how we think out of the box. That's how we find answers. What is going on? Apparently, I'm very popular tonight. Okay. Facebook user, it's most definitely an eye-opener when you have an encounter. It does open the mind up to, well, what else am I complaining? Completely oblivious of. Yes, I absolutely agree with what you're saying. And you're so right. You don't know unless you look, right? I mean, that's a fact.
That's what opens you up. The first time you have an experience and you're off the fence, so to speak.
Yeah.
I remember, oh my gosh, you're back and forth for 6 months. Like, nah, what really was that? And
Yeah.
then you're like, no, it was that. Once you finally decide something happened,
Yeah.
the first damn thing you think of is, well, what else don't I know? What
Yeah.
you know what I need to, yeah. It and what, okay, I don't want to really say it too hard, but once you click that door open of opening up, uh other crap happens.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well,
I
no, I
don't
think you're right, and we have actually observed that, Jeff, on multiple occasions at this point, honestly. Because I'll give you an example, because I'm going to give it to you now because you're going to see it soon anyway. The Wineberry case, the one where we went up and we got the cast of the whatever it was, the Sasquatch, Bigfoot. It wasn't human. I don't know what this thing was. You can call it what you want. Call it, a troll. I don't care. It's labels. But the point is, we got the evidence that these things were happening in this area, as we were told. And follow-up investigations got even stranger. And they got a little stranger every time. It's like something turned up the heat to the weird. They turned the weird up just a little bit. The next time we go up, we got something that seems to well, while we were there, we got stuff that was, banged on trees and thrown at us, or thrown over a hill, not at us, but thrown over a hill. And we got followed by something on the ridgeline. The next time we go up, we got weird radiation. We got weird EM spike that happens in the middle of a forest. No reason, again, for this to happen. And then we hear mumbling sounds, and then almost on cue, we're doing our research later on in the year on the UAP phenomena and whatnot. We had just managed to catch a couple of these the UAP from the incident there, and before that, a friend of ours was up filming on the Chestnut Ridge. They caught some orb activity, so we got to look at some of the video there, and we were comparing stuff back and forth on that as well. And wouldn't you know it, before the year was up, our witness at the Wineberry site, who was oblivious to any of this, we didn't talk about any orbs, anything like that, messages me one night and says, now we have something weird going on up here. And I'm like, well, what's going on? And I get a picture. Little lights are starting to show up. I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. So it's like these things just kind of escalate in these areas. And it's kind of what you were saying. It's the areas where this energy is. And you mentioned cursed lands at one point as well. Well, that's funny that you should say that, because this area is proven to have been native. There was Native Americans in the area. There's been artifacts, beautiful artifacts found in the area, actually, that are not broken, which means typically it wasn't just a plowshare kind of, the plow didn't just go over and break them up and whatnot. So they're actually washing out there, which means it's probably inhabited at that area. There's a spring there, a massive spring. And this spring is very, very cool. We tried to go to it the last time we were there, but it was rained out and flooded out. But this spring, right beside it, there's this massive ancient cedar tree that's growing near the spring. That would have been a very special place at one point. And that's in the same area. This is all about energy, right? And then I can't say anything more, because it'll come out soon in a project. And if it doesn't, I'll release it myself. Let's put it that way, because there was other things that were seen in that area that may have something to do with energy as well. And there's follow-up investigations still being done in the area. So I think that there are these little places like this. Chestnut Ridge is one, Wineberry's one, a more famous one, Skinwalker Ranch. These are the same kinds of things that are happening. I mean, literally, we were getting the data these little bits of data, and they didn't make any sense until I did watch that episode of Skinwalker Ranch where they started seeing the orbs, and I'm like, oh my God, this is what we've been following. This is actually real. And I still don't understand what that is, but we're all gathering the same data here, and it does seem to be, I don't know, man, there's something there. There's just something there. What else do we have? Facebook user, it's most definitely an eye-opener when you have an encounter. I got that one. Sorry. I'm sorry about that. Already did that. Spooky. Yeah, I want to see a giant burrito. Well, dream big. I mean, that'll work if you're out there and you think giant burrito.
Space burrito.
Yeah. Space burrito.
Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
Right?
Syndrome.
And that's funny. Well, again, there's something about that, isn't there? Because that's kind of the same kind of thing. Let's see. What else do we got? Someone said you're exactly right, Jeff. And it's always good when someone tells you you're exactly right. So.
Oh man, which thing? The part where I need to shut up? That was, yeah.
Oh gosh.
Oh,
I know who this is. Oh geez. This is the witness is who we're talking to here. This is Facebook user. And wow, great to have you here. Yeah, that is the witness who can tell you more about Wineberry than us. And she says, yeah, the area has been her family for 300 years.
wow.
Oh, 200. She meant 200. Sorry, 200 years, but still,
Still a long time.
Yeah. Right.
Wow. When you get a stopping point, that something's telling me to tell you this other experience along.
Oh, go ahead. You're fine. Yeah.
You know how things draw you into other realms of investigation or whatever. Now, I will say I don't ghost hunt, but
they hunt you, Jeff.
I do appraisals for houses, and I'm to the point now where if I'm in there and something's bugging me or comes home with me, then I have a very gifted gentleman that will help me help them. And sometimes it's just a matter of, this person 100 years ago, he wasn't given the knowledge of how to move on, and he just kind of lost. And you put somebody that goes past him that glows a little brighter than the average person, they'll follow you a little bit. And this is just, again, opinions.
Sure.
But I have, sometime I want to tell you some stories privately, and you'll say, yeah, no, don't tell anybody that. There were some very good friends of mine that were having doors of their they built a house in the country, a lot of acres, and they were having doors open a lot. They were having people get touched and rocks lined up on the back patio and just little things like that for a long time. And I've spent some time out there, and I've heard things, and this went on for a year, and finally you have to get to a point where you can talk about things with people. It's like, what? I know a person that can see people.
Yeah.
Let's leave it at that. And always has been able to. And so let's fast forward to the time we're there. And it turned out that this area, they had a really wonderful pond and a very beautiful ridge on the backside, like bottomland, and a very beautiful ridge that looked very appealing. And it turned out that was a village. That was, and I think especially Midwest and the Native American lands are way more prevalent. I mean, I have a story similar to this that's bad. I mean, people tend to fill voids with hate, and they desecrate places on purpose or not caring. In this instance, it was just the house. Nothing was bugged, nothing was moved, but they wanted the people to know they were there.
Yeah.
And it was from, a long time ago.
Hmm.
And when he went out there, he bridged that. Hey, we know you're there, you know, and my friend hunts, and this is going to sound kind of movie-ish, but when he hunts, he will leave a pelt, or he will leave it's symbolic, but not.
Yeah.
He will leave that out there at that area, and they don't really go over to that area. And they said, well, if you arrowheads, stuff that's in the wild, you know, that doesn't mean anything. But if you disturb those mounds and dig something up, please put it back. And they don't mess with that area at all.
Nope.
And they said, we're not going to come to the house again. And so you're like, okay, you know, that I believe him, but these people don't. And he said, okay, you'll get your confirmation that all this happened because there will be an owl that comes to the house more like right there, like it's almost in your house. And it took a couple months, and it happened. And they were like, it happened, and we got our confirmation or whatever. And so because they were kind of fearful of their ground, and it turns out, especially his wife, very wonderful human, she's like, how cool is that? How cool is that to walk up your house knowing that over there on the ridge, the history, and they carry that respect, and it's not a frightening thing. It's a cool thing. And speaking of birds, I got to say this one thing. I'm all over the place. I was having a dilemma with something related, really trying to decide if I was doing the right thing. Am I taking this where I'm supposed to? And I was dwelling on that. And I had a bald eagle jump up on the right side. Now, this is going to sound weird. It jumped up on the right side of the road out of the field. And I'm looking at the camera. This happened. This was a mile is not that far, but it is when these things are massive. It flew probably 10 foot higher than my truck right in front of me for that mile. And I didn't realize it at the time till I was talking to my buddy Rich, and I said, you know, the craziest thing just happened. As I'm dealing with this, am I on the right path? And he's like, dude, oh my gosh, what more do you need? You know, and I was like,
eagle,
and I struggle with that still, but if that's true, it was odd, if nothing else, because I'm like, what's going to happen here? What's going on? You know, it's right there, and it takes up half of one lane, you know, and it just stayed right there. And then we got down to where some trees and stuff were. It was a mile, and then it took off. And I never thought nothing about it at the time until I just nonchalantly said, this was cool. It happened today. And he was like, dude, you got to recognize when you're being talked to. And I was, okay. I mean, anyway, another bird story.
That's a good bird story, actually. And, you know, that's your, you know, I'll say it in my opinion and in my teachings, as I have been taught, that is your ancestors. And that is your ancestors' way of validating these things to you. So I don't know who your ancestors were, other than you've probably got quite a strong connection. And you'll probably run into someone eventually.
Oh man,
that's usually
like you might have had a veteran or American veteran of some kind that was giving you some sort of sign.
That's beyond American veteran, my friend.
Well,
is it?
Sometimes it's just symbolic.
I'm going to tell you what my dilemma was. I was at a courthouse. I was doing research at a courthouse. And you know how it is. You're in a position, and if you're there, that conversation's going to get had. I don't ask for it. It's just all of a sudden, boom. Yeah. And I learned that there's something happening, and oh my gosh, what do we do? And it's like, well, yeah, I know a guy, you know, or something like that. So, but I'm not public about it.
Yeah.
The stuff that we do and take care of and help somebody move on or clear this void that's now full of.
That's a mission.
I was like, what do I do? And I actually called him and was saying, people are going to know if this happens. And that's when the eagle thing happened. So he was like, no, we're doing it. Doesn't matter. That was it. But okay. That was that.
That is some deep stuff. Truly, truly deep stuff. And no, I think that's all significant. And you can look at it two ways. Like Brandon said, modern or ancestral. It's
I didn't even consider that. Just opens up this whole new way of thinking for
more
me. I
ways of
love
thinking.
that.
Beth had said our state has a lot of limestone. I think traumatic experience sometimes can be held onto by land with minerals like limestone or streams, and the land immediately becomes thought of as cursed because it's like a recorder. Things play over and over from experience caught in the energy absorbing object. Yep, kind of like that. We do know that crystals, for example, they've been shown that they actually do um, they do have energy. They do have these vibrational frequencies.
Yeah,
They have been
some
able to
native
put
cultures believe limestone could hold energies and stuff
yeah
like that.
yeah
It had
man.
like a spiritual power of some sort. I forget exactly how to explain it, but
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's what a lot of your monoliths were. They were built the way they were built for those reasons.
I know some paranormal groups, whenever they do a ghost investigation, they'll look into whether a house is possibly built on a limestone cave or something like
Mhm.
that.
Or near water, or if there's water flowing under it. These are energy sources, and if you think about that, you remove um, the so-called what's that word? Everyone, the woo factor. If you remove that from it, and you look at it just in pure data, then you do know that as water's moving underground, there's ions. There's a cut in the electromagnetic field, the flux layer, that there's actually energy being created, not created, but there's energy being transferred at that point, and that can affect readings on some of these equipments and
There's
whatnot.
two
And
things that
who
connect that
knows?
to West Virginia is that we're built on a massive underground cave system that covers most of the state, and then there's also I think two ancient underground rivers that run through West Virginia as well.
Underground sea or
Wow. Yeah,
something
something
like
like
that,
that.
because there was a massive, yeah, there's an ancient sea that actually still is there, from what I understand, and that's where some of the salt comes from. There's some of the salt mines are pretty much remnants of that, which is just fantastic to even think about that. If you blows your mind, it's
The
millions
red,
and
the red canal salt that used to be popular around here.
hmm yeah, it's a gourmet actually. There's a lot of people who actually pay a lot of good money for that stuff. But yeah, anybody out there have any questions? Feel free to post them up. We are listening at this point.
Hey, it looks like
So,
Beth volunteered to go live with us.
oh, Beth, what?
Yeah, you don't see that comment?
Where? Oh, I see it. Yeah, I'd love to go live one day. Well, there you go. The next time we do, do one of these, we'll send you the link and have you pop on, and you can do that.
Talked one time about doing a live outside once.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Out in the woods.
All the water sources that we have in the hollow, not to mention the little springs that pop out of the mountainsides, the ponds, the creeks, other sides, and then all the limestone that the water runs on. No wonder the Native Americans here thought it was such an amazing place. Not one time where they have to worry about where they were getting water or what they were going to eat, because this place is rich with deer, bear, fish. So it was special. Yeah, it was. And I mean, literally, there's everything there. Like, that's why it's such a good place for, the Sasquatch research and whatnot as well. Even if we consider we're dealing with a flesh and blood creature, then, well, there's your food source. It's there.
Oh,
So,
also remember they were terrified of this place too.
oh, well, yeah, it was cursed. So there's that. Love that Ron knows enough about thermodynamics to change his response from energy being created to transferred. You caught that, did you? Yeah, yeah. Yeah, there's a little physicist that lives inside my head. He comes out every now and again and smacks me with a sensor. But other times he doesn't know when to stop me. So we are going to have you back in a very special episode soon, and we're going to follow up with another Mandela Effect episode. what's your thoughts on the Mandela effect now, Jeff, as opposed to back when we did that originally?
You know what? I can't answer that because we have had just a wealth of, well, I can CERN. I mean, we talked about the Hadron Collider or whatever last time.
That's
change
right.
stuff,
Yes.
and now I'm totally look at life in general, how it's changed since they flipped that sucker on. I mean,
Yeah.
now I'm for sure that we're on a different line. I mean, everything. Yeah.
Yep.
No,
You're
no, I have opinions on that different now, and they might change by the time we do the show. I don't know.
Well, they probably will because we'll be in another timeline at that point, and everything that you say will be affected by the you that's here now. So that you will be completely different you, and that's who
right.
we'll be talking to. So you won't exist.
No. I wish for someone I could follow what happens to this version of me.
I'll tell you what.
We got to get the time thing figured out so that we can, Tesla's time machine.
Yeah, man. Well, that's what the Mandela effect. We're going to really go deep on that again, and we're going to look at some really theoretical stuff in that episode. It'll be a lot of fun. You talk about a fun episode. You're going to have fun with this one because there's apparently a lot more new theories and new, it's this. Here's proof now. And then, of course, there's the proof also that we can drag up that how people believe everything that they see on social media. So we're going to go everywhere with this and leave no stone unturned, so to speak. What do we got here? Oh, Dewey. Dewey's got his camera now. So there's Dew. Dew's going. So we got Dewey coming on. We got Beth coming on. And Teresa, another Mandela Effect episode. Yes, another Mandela Effect episode. I think we might actually do one of those things where, Bender was doing. Maybe we'll have all of our group members try to like shift the timeline. That'll be fun, right? Totally messing with you guys. Totally messing with you guys. Well, I wouldn't
Well, next
do that
time they
to you.
fire up the LHC,
Well, it's still running. It's still running.
is it
So-
still?
Oh yeah. It's supposed to run for how long was it? I can't remember what the initial run was after they got the thing up to speed. So yeah, they're
Like
still running
6
that
months
thing.
now. I think.
They're still running it, man. It's
Until the gates of hell are actually open.
yeah,
Well,
I
I'm
think
sorry.
so.
I shouldn't. Okay,
Yeah.
I have to say this. I've been getting texts. There's a couple guys watching. At some point, we got to talk about. What's the best way to put it? Everybody not get mad.
Oh, we don't care if they get mad here. It's
There-
okay.
there
We
are-
have multiple friends here who this is like Cheers.
Okay, so we can just talk about everything.
Yeah, we don't
know,
care.
I was referencing some of the ceremonies that happened before they turned that thing on. I'm
Oh,
sure
yeah.
everybody's seen them.
Yeah.
But the good part, there's stuff happening now around the world that is a miracle. Like there's people get messages, interlocution. I don't necessarily think we need to call it a religious type of a conversation, but I believe a lot of stuff. I believe a lot of people that can see dead people and all,
Mhm.
there is the afterlife. So why not look over here and say, what are you being told? What are you being told? I'm curious about all that.
Yeah.
Medjugorje, the kids at Medjugorje that pretty much
fact-
know how it's
yeah.
all going to end. It's like,
Yeah.
give me some information. Anyway, yeah, I'm sorry.
No, don't be sorry. That's the kind of
Uh-oh.
Oh,
See, that's what I get.
Ron just talked about way too many complicated things and he got kicked out.
That was the government right there. Shut him down. I feel bad.
That was the timeline separating. He's gonna
Oh, it
split
happened
off and
right
make a new
there.
Ron.
Dang it. We won't remember any of the stuff we just said. Maybe that's what it's all about.
what we won't be talking about.
Oh, it's new Ron.
It's new timeline Ron.
Hello, everyone.
If you were my hero, you would have put a different color shirt on before you turned the camera back on.
Well, I started to do something fun like that, but but yes, as far as it goes, man, we talk about this all the time. There's definitely something else going on. It does feel weird. We know this. We think that things have changed. I won't say that there's any kind of we can't nail it down. We can't say for sure that something happened, but my God, man, it feels weird, and it feels like we have spun out of control ever since a certain key point date. There is a point in time where everything changed, and it just happened to be the same year that they fired that thing up. It was the same year that the Mayans predicted everything would start all over again. They didn't say the world would end. That was a stupid interpretation by someone trying to sell a book. But it was the beginning of a new cycle, so everything would start again. Or Boris, at the end, there is a new creation, etc., etc. So it's all symbolic, and it's just funny that you have all that in the same year, 2012.
Yep.
Man, I don't know, but I can tell you that the world definitely changed after 2012. And
there are lots of things that I remember because I graduated in 2008, and that year we all talked about our childhood and all the stuff we remember from our childhood. There's a lot of stuff we talked about that turns out supposedly never existed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it just blows my mind. Like I still remember the movie with Sinbad dressed as a genie. I can remember that.
Yeah, yeah. What is
That
the
didn't happen?
No, that didn't happen.
It was called
Jason?
Kazam.
Oh, why do I have that in my head?
Because you saw it.
Because I saw it. That was like a Sunday morning. There was like a Sunday morning matinee or like noontime or something when I was younger. And they would play all the Sinbad, Jason the Argonauts, all that kind of stuff. Journey to the Center of the Earth, all those kind of movies. That's the time frame. I remember him wearing them pants.
Mm-hmm. The poofy white pants. Yep.
The poofy
one
white
earring.
pants.
Yep.
Stop it. You're killing me.
So allegedly there are these incidents like that. And Teresa, yeah, what she said, the Sinbad movie was real, but it was always Berenstain. And I will down that.
Nope.
People just couldn't spell it because it wasn't a popular spelling. Now, here's what's funny about this, because that was one of my pet peeves, was the whole Berenstain thing. If we're going to base it off that, I'm not going to go into the whole thing, because the episode that we did with Jeff back in the day it's gold. It actually has the origin of where this whole theory started and how it started. And it was one person, just like, the whole, not a deer thing. It all started with one person who came up with this idea, put it on social media, and boom, it's real. The Berenstain thing, there are multiple spellings of it. There has been multiple spellings of it. Now, why are there multiple spellings? I can go so far as now to say, well, in this new reality, perhaps it's a psyop. Maybe they want us to think we're crazy. No, really, I don't know. But it's going to be a fantastic episode. So I want everybody to get their questions ready for that and be thinking. And if you notice any change in the timeline, let us know, because it's going to be, we're going to address that. It's going to be fun. It'll be really great.
I just had a thought. The guy that controls
the
guy that controls the roundhouse of timelines, on the computer, he's got a buddy like Wayne behind him, and he's like, dude, type it wrong this time.
Right.
Stay wrong and see what happens.
Make them think.
Laughing. Yeah,
make them think. Yeah, that's everybody was wondering. Yeah, I did drop out at that exact moment. That wasn't fake. That was real. Ron says dumb conversation. No, far from it. We got Dewey, Men in Black. There you go, brother. That's what it was. It was the MIB.
Yep.
Agent John Stone got me. What? The rabbit hole. Yeah. Imagine a world full of open-minded people. That's when things will start to happen. Now you're right, because that's what we were talking about this week. See, time travel, it's so weird, because we cut the show that you're going to see tomorrow back on Sunday, and that's one of the things we'll talk about in that is the Tulpa and what was the other egregore, and how we can kind of shape reality, or possibly shape reality, if enough people believe in that one thing. It's kind of like the law of attraction, I guess, if you really look at it.
I've heard a lot of people talk recently about how this generation that's on Earth right now is the most spiritually open-minded, psychically open-minded, whatever people that have ever existed. That we're looking
Well,
for answers
since the last
now.
reset, yeah. Since the last reset, yeah, you're right. Yeah, that's correct. Well, I guess Joe didn't join us, everyone. To my surprise, I don't know what happened there, but
He hates me. That's what happened.
I
He
don't
hates
know.
me.
Now he actually got a new job recently, and the hours are everywhere. We're actually going to be.
Oh,
What happened?
I guess we're getting a new Ron again.
Oh, dang. I was just starting to like the second one.
This one was getting on a good tangent, and then he just disappeared.
That's because he's doing something. He's combing his hair different or something. Please, please, don't let me down. Don't let me down. He's doing what he was gonna do.
Teresa says the alien invasion is starting, and they took him first.
That makes sense. I
Or,
love it.
or that Ron got redacted. Oh,
Excellent. No sound. Wait.
did
He's
get a
gonna.
new Ron.
We're supposed to get what he's thinking. He says, "Shut up, so we can end the show."
Oh, don't forget to like and subscribe.
Oh,
And share with your friends. We're also available on Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, Spotify, Amazon Music, wherever you get your podcast from.
nice.
Don't forget to
Oh.
lost that Ron too. Oh, whoa.
No sound.
Aliens, man. What are you going to do? Anyway, yeah. So I'm back. What am I there? Anything? Anybody?
Well,
Banners. I'm trying to find the banners. Ah, here we go. Well, they're already there. The banners
They're
are there.
there. I'm seeing them.
Ah, there we go. Go ahead, Brandon. Do your thing.
don't forget to also go to wildandweirdwv.com and purchase all of our merchandise. And hold on, let me beam it real quick. You are going to buy all of our merchandise.
Once we put some
And
on there,
also,
maybe
creature replicas.
possible.
Merchandise.
Yes, some creature replica merchandise will be there. Jeff, when can we expect new creature replica merchandise? By the way, no exact date, but is that a thing that's coming?
It's no secret that aliens are the next wave. Now we do have some other fun stuff after
Sold. Already sold. It's good. You already sold me on it.
very-
You don't. I don't care about anything else. You're making aliens. I'm good.
that. Very
Everybody
soon,
else.
couple
very soon.
tie-ins with some special things, special
Ah,
things that we gotta get that on paper. But no, it's pretty much ready. So any day.
we told you we would explain that the alien invasion had in fact begun. We gave you proof tonight. Any day now. Jeff Byers has said that they're coming. Apparently, they're going to be small plastic, posable.
Yes.
And probably, are you guys still using the vacuum sealed plastic where I can see my action figure thing, or are you guys moving to the boxes that force people to open stuff? I'm just curious.
How about a little bit in between? Gene
Okay.
has showed me some boxes that have a
Windows?
front and the sides windows,
Good.
but they're smaller because I love the durability of those giant cases that we're in now. You can throw it across the room and it's fine, but oh my gosh, the shipping containers that have to come across the ocean with that stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know how that's going to work now. The whole world's different. So
Well,
if
it's
we
going to be even more different then. So, new
Yeah,
timeline,
yeah.
Jeff. New
if we
timeline.
can
Make
change
sure
it and
it's
get them lower.
gluten-free packaging and it's COVID-proof.
Yes. Yeah.
Is it? Is it though? I don't know. Maybe. I learned today that grays have human hands. That's so wild. Well, they only have human hands when they're in the middle of metamorphosizing.
Or
Uh,
the hybrid.
yeah, the hybrids can do that. It's not all of them. So, and you got to be careful. You can't just say the grays because that's kind of offensive, you know. Just,
Hybrid Theory, which was also Linkin Park's best album.
yeah. Totally messing with you. Totally messing with you all. What? Perhaps Zorb's Ron's house. Yeah, Commander Zorb's over here. Yeah. I think that might be what happened to Joe. I think Commander Zorbazorb might have got onto him for all those Zorbazorb jokes. Are they the aliens? Are we the aliens? Yes. Yes, what you said. And we're going to have an episode about that someday. Again. What else?
Racist.
Because Goddaddy Matthew McConaughey is crashing on Ron's couch. That is hilarious.
Playing the bongos right now in your living room.
Right. All right, folks. I think that's going to be it for tonight. I do want to thank every single one of you for tolerating us and putting up with us and enjoying. I hope you enjoyed the show. We enjoyed the show. We loved having Jeff on. Always a fun time. The next one we are going to do with Jeff will be the Mandela Effect Part 2 and shifting timelines. And it is going to be just as exciting as what you just heard. Of course, it's already happened for you people who are in the future.
Yeah.
So, you know, this is just ancient history to you guys, and we know that you enjoyed it. So you're welcome. Anything else we need to cover? What's that Reddit and whatnot you said we had, bud? Like,
Oh yeah, we have a subreddit now where we can also have discussions that aren't as policed as Facebook.
is that
Uh,
this one? That's this one, right?
r/wild and weird.
That it? No, that's
No.
not it. That's not it. It's what? I found it. This is it.
Yep, that's it.
Okay, so yeah, you can go check that out there and engage with some nice creative banter, I should say, because you know we're going to have a little bit more fun on that one than we do out on the public page there in Facebook land and whatnot, because you know we've got to be nicey nice, and we don't want to offend anyone or get in trouble. But on the Reddit, who cares? It really doesn't matter. Apparently.
Wild West over there.
I think it might be. I don't know. We're also going to be doing some really cool things in the future. I told you guys, once we hit our magic number, you can expect, and you're going to like it or you may not. I don't know. We are going to do a wild and weird radio live broadcast from an actual location. And you guys are going to be able to come to it and have a good little party fun time and ask questions and share events and, you know, share your accounts at the event and whatnot. It could happen at one of our events for all I know. I don't know, but we do have events planned. So there's a good chance that might happen, but it may happen sooner than that. We just don't know yet. There's all kinds of stuff happening. For example, my little gray alien friend that you just saw, if you may run into him this weekend at the Lexington Comic-Con, comic festival, whatever they got going on down there. It's the comic book convention that we go to. I will be there, not vending. Me and Joe will be there, and my wife, and I may or may not be running around dressed up as Commander Zorbazorb. If you happen to see me dressed up as Commander Zorbazorb, do come up, and I shall give you a little. I got a business card around here or something I think I can find for you, and I may have a sketch. I don't know. It just depends on what I want to get rid of. I've got a few things, so I may or may not, depending on weather, because I'm going to be honest with you, that thing's hot, and the full suit is even more hot than that. So to learn what that looks like, go back to the Mothman episode, and you'll understand what I'm talking about. But yeah, so if you see me there, that's what I'll be doing. Giorgio will be there, and I'm going to go down and I'm going to go down and say hey to the G-Man again. So, but there's all kinds of cool stuff going on there. We've got a nice weekend. It's actually one of the rare times that we get to go to a convention or a festival that we're not vending at, and I can't tell you how I love vending, guys. Don't get me wrong. And I love coming out and seeing everybody and, doing the whole circuit. Wouldn't trade it for the world. You guys are amazing. And it's fun to get out there and do that. But it's also fun to actually go and be able to go to a convention and look at the stuff at the booths from other amazing creators and providers and, support them a little bit like they do us. So, it's always a fun time. So we'll be doing that. And then after that, we'll be at Dave Spink's World of Weird up there for MonsterCon. After that, I think we'll be in Withville, I think. And I don't remember beyond that because that's just what I have off the top of my head. The rest of it's on the webpage. I have updated it. And you can go over there and check that out to get our full itinerary, I suppose, at least at this point. There's a couple of really cool shows that I'm really excited about that I can't talk about just yet, that we will be making announcements on very soon, hopefully. And surprise, surprise, they're good. They're good. It's gonna be a good one. It's definitely good. We've definitely come a long way, and I'm very thankful every single day that we get up and we get to come over here and give you guys some incredible content like this. And we want to get more and more people on tonight. I know that we're going to have Dewey coming back. Dewey will be with us in the near future. Ron Murphy is going to be joining us at some point. Who else do we have? We have, oh man, I can't remember. It's hot in here. I can't remember who all we had, but we have several people who are going to be coming on. Beth wants to come on. So you'll be hearing straight from, the Wineberry site, Witness, and there's going to be some really cool stuff. So get ready for it. It's going to be fun. And with that said, every single one of you, thank you for coming, and do always stay wild and weird. We're going to see you here again next week, same time. And well, I don't know. What is Tom? I mean, I can't really say that based upon the data. I can't say it's going to be the same time because let's be real. The Earth won't even be in the same position. That's not in the same position right now, for example. It just moved. Like, I don't even understand. I mean, okay. Well, anyway, so that's enough of that. So we're going to see you guys next week. Be here. We will be here regardless. I mean, I hope you're here with us. I really do. And just keep watching, and we're going to let you know what's going on. Jeff, do you have anything going on, like any events you're going to be at here real soon that people can see you at?
I wish I could go to Horror Hound Weekend this weekend in Cincy, but I was going to meet up with Russ Acord as he comes through in his travels. And we were going to pop in there and surprise some people, and I can't. Which is fine, but I'm not going to vend until I have something new, to show. Yeah. So, there's a few shows I'm definitely going to try. Now I am going to have, they're up here where I'm at. We've put together a couple programs where I'm going to have some of my friends, some of my talented friends that are going to come and speak to people and do some stuff. But other than that, I might see you guys the next time I'm out.
Yeah, you are actually going to, you're a sponsor for the Flatwoods MonsterCon, or Monster Convention. Sorry, Monster Convention, Flatwoods Monster Convention. And, that's going to be a really good one. I don't know if you're going to be able to make it. I think you said you were busy, but.
I think, my youngest is a senior.
Yeah,
and we got one more track season to get figured out. But, man, after that, it's like new product, more time.
Yep, exactly. Well, as soon as you get those aliens ready to launch, you let us know, and we will make sure that the message gets out and everybody knows where to find them.
You will probably be one of the first people that know when that's going to happen. So that's all, and I appreciate it. Oh my gosh, thank you.
Oh yeah, absolutely, man. I mean, it's what we do. Shoot, come on. All right, everybody, that's it. We're going to head out. It's getting kind of warm in here. The studio is starting to overheat. I think I may have overheated myself with the alien mask for a little bit, and I think I'm dehydrated. So, all right. So anyway, see you guys later. We're out of here.
Thank you. See you guys later.
Absolutely.
Everyone.
Bye.